Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I have my earpiece in. The wind is blowing, so I I have to work on getting my sound better because I notice sometimes my voice goes in and out. But I hope you can hear me right now. I have on an earpiece that has a mic, so hopefully that'll be better. So good morning, everyone. It's Natalie, and welcome to my channel. Find joy in the journey. This is my morning inspection. It is Tuesday. To those who celebrated, happy Mardi Gras. For those people in my area that celebrate it, I don't think it's something that is worldwide. Okay, but let's see here. Just looking. This is just my morning inspection. I look at damaged leaves, see what's going on underneath there, and look, there's no bugs. That's just tattered leaves. That's pretty good. Let's see. Nice, nice, nice. The neem oil is working, the neem max. So when I say neem max, I'm referring to a cold pressed neem oil. And that's just the concentrate that I use. It's neem max. So I sprayed those leaves and everything in that raised bed. Then I treated the soil before I even put plants in this raised bed. I treated the soil just to make sure we killed off any eggs, any larvae. Okay. Over here we have the countryside spinach, and it's still doing well. It's still looking good. Brussels sprouts right here. And then right next to it, I put red beans, kidney beans. Okay, so it should take up that entire area. I grew red kidney beans before, and a lot of the plants didn't make it. I had like one or two plants that made it, and they did produce beans, and I was able to harvest them. But what I did, it wasn't enough to collect and actually have something to store to use. So basically, I use them as seed. I let them dry out and I use them as seed. Okay. In this area, there's nothing. I had it marked off, so I haven't placed anything in that spot yet. Ooh, here we go. This is what I've been waiting to see. Let's get closer, you guys. My mustard greens are here. I sowed Florida broadleaf mustards in this area. Let me see if my little method worked. It still works. Hope you can see it. There you go. They're sprouting. Yes, the method works. I'll tell you what I did. There we go. All right. What I do is I soak the seeds. They're very tiny, but I soak them just like you do a spinach seed to prime them, right? And then after soaking them, I take them and put them in a napkin. So just to kind of get some of the water off. Then I put them back in the container that I soaked them in. What I do is I add perlite, vermiculite, or just even a little peat moss to the seeds. And then I take that little mixture. What I'm doing is I'm giving the seeds, these little tiny seeds, something to grab hold to. Okay? I need something where I can sprinkle them and distribute the seeds evenly. So basically, first of all, this perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss, very light, very airy. So it'll give the seed something to cling on to, but it's not, but it's also good for moisture retention and drainage and all of that. So that once I have it in this, concoction here, I'm able to sprinkle it across the surface like that. And then to cover it, I come back with either just a little fine dust of peat moss. That's all you need. I kind of pat it down into the soil, and then I come across it with a little fine dust of peat moss, and then after that, I decided to add the perlite vermiculite. It's a perlite vermiculite mixture. I mixed the two together, and I sprinkle the top to not only retain moisture in the soil, but also supposedly it keeps down fungus gnats. Okay, so that's what I did over here, and I hope I explained it where you could understand. But let's see here, spinach. I did that same thing with the spinach right here. So this is giant noble spinach. Seeds that germinated and now is actually sprouting. Spinach is actually growing right here. Let's see what else we got. The collards here. Let me take a look at the back of these collards. Looking good. I actually harvested from these collards just the other day. Came out here. I cleared out the bed for one thing. See that area where I had damage? I left it alone because I knew there would be more. That area was damaged, but I knew that more leaves would grow, that more collards would grow. And I'm looking at the back of the leaves. Everything. I don't see any. I see a little bit right here, but that's okay. I can probably just wipe that clean. Just kind of wipe them off. But everywhere else, it looks pretty good. So what I did is I cut off a lot of those bottom leaves so we can have airflow. And I'll go to the other side of the bed so I can also show you the reason why. There's onions growing over here. I have yellow and white onions over here. And I heard they were a great companion plant, but the thing is, I didn't think about the fact that they were so close in the raised bed and that the collards would just kind of overshadow the onions. Okay, so trimming them back, making sure that I keep them trimmed back on this side will give the onions more room to grow. It'll be able to get the sunlight, airflow, all of that good stuff. So yeah, problem solved, because I was actually going to try to uproot those onions and move them, but no, they're going to stay right there, and I'll just keep that area trimmed. Okay, very quickly I want to show you something. Remember, I had red beans in here, right? No, I'm sorry, red Norland potatoes, and they were growing, had lots of green leaves and foliage, and we had a freeze that came through. We had freezing temperatures for 2 straight nights in about 25 degrees. And so I lost the foliage on these potatoes. But that's okay. As you can see, I left them alone. I didn't call it a loss. I said it's going to grow back. Because it's happened to me before when I grew potatoes before. And I actually was able to harvest from those potatoes. That's probably one of the largest potato harvests I had. I'm sorry, it's early, guys. It was probably one of the largest potato harvests that I had. The foliage died back twice, but grew back, and I was able to harvest these little red tiny grocery store potatoes. But these are actually certified seed potatoes, red Norland. And I think I'll actually get potatoes this time. But like I said, I wasn't worried about the foliage dying out because I knew I could get it to come. It would grow back. Look, that onion here, that is one onion. Look how large it is. I hope an actual onion is underneath that soil. I don't see it bulbing, but it's huge. Look at the neck of it. Wow. I don't know. I actually had several, and I tell this story all the time, but I had several onion sets planted in that pot, but only one survived. So I'm just allowing it to grow. You know, let's just see what happens. It's kind of awkward looking there. Okay, I kept my celery. I told you I would. Kept the celery. The stalks are kind of short and stubby. But yeah, that still can be used. Whether it's short and stubby or not, you can still cut that up, huh? And use that for seasoning. Or for dipping with salad dressing. Okay, but I kept the celery because I just did not have the heart to uproot those plants. I harvested that celery, and I had a bumper crop. I had so much celery that I was able to chop up and freeze, and I use it in my cooking all the time. Okay, but in that spot, there was an empty spot right here. They had 2 celery plants that had died out, so I removed them. I kind of refurbished the soil right there, added more my own compost, a little fertilizer, and some fresh soil, and I planted these 2 Swiss chard plants. These are called, let me see, Fire Fresh. So yeah, those are newly planted. But I just took up that space there and placed those plants in that spot. Okay, over here we have our bistro salad blend. This is lettuce. That red one, oh, that is so pretty. I'm trying to let it get, I'm trying to let it get a little bigger before I start cutting on this one. Okay, they're so tender and delicate little leaves. But it may be time to harvest a few of those leaves to make me a salad. These are the Brussels sprouts. Look how large the leaves are getting. Okay, and I'm seeing, let's go in there so we can see. I'm trying to see if there's any little sprouts in there trying to grow, but they look healthy. That's the main thing. They're growing healthy, and I don't see any bug damage. That's a good thing. I don't see even see any bad leaves. A few little tiny yellow leaves underneath here. I can cut those away. Okay. So this is my first time growing Brussels sprouts. So I got to do more research to see what they need. Think of a fertilizing schedule. I think everything's going to be on the same fertilizing schedule every 2 weeks. Okay? But make sure that most likely it's going to need something high in nitrogen. It's basically, the Brussels sprouts are like little tiny baby cabbages. Okay? So, but I'm going to figure out what type of, to get on a schedule, a feeding schedule, fertilizing every 2 weeks, which is twice a month. Okay? It's time to start doing that. Let's see. Oh, right here. More spinach. This is that giant noble spinach. Same as the other grow bag I showed you. And it's growing so nicely. It took a while before I was able to get the spinach to grow, so now that I actually have it up and running like this, I am very happy. Okay, you know the usual suspects, the rosemary, my bay leaf, my bay laurel plant there. Over here we have all the garlic, and I am hoping this garlic is produces nice big garlic bulbs. I've grown garlic before and I did pretty good. That's elephant garlic there. The rest is softened garlic. These are onions also. So I have onions here, onions in that raised bed. Okay. We'll see what happens. Okay. Just a quick little walkthrough. I'm just taking you guys with me. We have more Brussels sprouts right here at the edge of this raised bed. And I am so pleased with this. This is romaine lettuce. I gotta come get this. I have to. This is romaine lettuce. This is red romaine. Okay? I'm gonna come get this. I think today I'm coming out and I'm gonna get this lettuce. This is head lettuce. Now I'm gonna leave this alone because they're nice and bushy, but I'm thinking if it's a head lettuce, let me look at the picture. I wonder should it be a round head? There we go. That's head lettuce. All right. So I'd actually like to see a video or a picture of it totally at its state where it's like mature, because I don't think it's ready just yet. So I'm just gonna let it grow a little more and do my research. Over here, these are more Florida broadleaf mustard. So just like over in that raised bed that I just showed you. Same seeds, same variety, Florida broadleaf. I know I had seeds for India broadleaf mustards, but lately I've just been going towards the Florida broadleaf since I had success with that before. Okay, but that same method that I told you about that I used over there is what I used right here. Okay, just sprinkled, using the peat moss and the perlite vermiculite, and with the seeds mixed in, I just sprinkled it, tried to sprinkle it evenly and hope that they took root, and they did. Okay, if I'm saying that correctly, just hopefully the seeds set in the soil and begin to germinate and sprout, and it did. So let's hope the same thing happens over there. These are butter crunch in Paris Island. This is also lettuce. I have a lot of lettuce, a lot of green leafy vegetables, things like that, because these are cold hardy plants. These are plants that I started in late December, early January. I was growing brassicas before that, cabbage, some collards, broccoli. Excuse me. So once it was time to transition, I started growing this lettuce and kale, because these are cold hardy vegetables and they would survive the cooler temps. So right here, my lettuce, this is Swiss chard, and look at the kale. Whew. Nice. It's definitely time for me to harvest that. That's the kale over here. That little baby's still trying. That little tiny one, still trying, but it's still there. Okay. And then my other cabbage is here. I think I'm going to cut away some of these outer leaves. I like to cut away the outer leaves. First of all, I don't want the leaves touching the soil. But secondly, because if you cut away those outer leaves, those bottom leaves, the plant will focus all its energy and nutrients on forming this head. Okay? This one's the biggest right there. Okay, so I will come out and do that. If not today, I'm going to get to it. Back over here at the collards. Okay? My collards in this raised bed. And of course, you saw the collards that are over there in the smaller raised bed. So that's the only collards I have right now. The ones right here and the ones over there. And then I have older collards. We're going to make our way over there anyhow. I have some older collards over here in this area that I had started growing months and months ago. I want to say early fall. And as you can see, they're not in good condition. So what I'm going to do is that's going to be chopped up and used as filler in the new garden bed. So we go in the just plant waste. I have a little sack that I use where I'm collecting plant waste, like old plants that have died out, and when they start to decompose, it's going to be rich organic material, and I will place that in the bottom of my new raised beds. I have 2 more raised beds in that pretty night blue by Vajiga. One of them has already arrived, and I'm not even going to bother to put them together yet. I'm not going to do that until the temperatures are just right. I went ahead and I put these 2 together, that L-shaped one right there, and of course that one. And I put this one together. And as you can see, they're being used. I'm growing in them. But the 2 new ones, I'm not planning on planting anything just yet until we are in the full swing of spring and the temperatures, especially at night, are consistently in the 50s. Then I will go ahead and put those raised beds together, because I can't. One of the raised beds is for my watermelons and for the cantaloupe, and hopefully I'll have some honeydew melons too. So one of the raised beds is specifically for those, and they're not going to be planted out yet. So I'm like, I'm not, plus the area where I'm going to place the raised bed is not ready yet. So might as well just cool my heels, as my daddy would say. Cool my heels and wait. And but the trellis and the raised bed is here, and there's another one that's on the way, and that'll probably be it for a while. I don't think I need anything else. The rest will be grow bags, just regular planters like these, grow bags, whiskey barrels. But definitely I will be going towards grow bags. I ordered some 7-gallon grow bags, and I'm thinking of doing my peppers in those. Now that's going to be a heck of a switch because I used pots last season. The grow bags, I'm leaning towards those because grow bags, they do something, because it's fabric and it's breathable. It's something called air pruning, where the roots, they won't get like tightly wound, like how they into that basket shape where they just they all bind together. When you have air pruning, the roots will actually, and I'll put up some information on the screen, but the roots actually are free to kind of spread out, and because of the airflow. And I just really think that those peppers will do well in the grow bag. So I'm preparing. I just ordered 10 7-gallon grow bags. It wasn't expensive at all, about $20 for 10 bags. Good quality, the same brand. This same brand, I really like this brand, and I like the quality of these. I think it's Vivasun, and I do like the quality of those. So I was able to get a deal where you get a package of 10 7-gallon grow bags. I'm like, that's perfect. That is perfect for my little pepper patch. I'm still going to have my pepper patch, but it'll be growing in a different type of container. It'll be in a grow bag instead of the regular pots. So I'm going to have a lot of free pots and totes that I'm not going to be using this year. But that's okay. It's time to try something different, because the main goal and my main objective is to grow more fruits, successfully grow more fruits and vegetables. Okay? So it's like, that's the whole purpose of this. So I'm just trying to find what works for me and what works best. Okay? My two little, my pineapples, which I see a few little yellow leaves here. I feel like I was overwatering them, so I did not water them in the past couple of days because I felt like I was overwatering them. So I kind of just backed off. And my trees, that's a Meyer lemon. And those two over there, those are Louisiana sweet orange trees. Okay. My strawberries here. I've been coming out here and picking off those flowers. I'm trying to let it grow their leaves and get larger before they start producing fruit. Okay, I have more potatoes over here. They're slow going, these potatoes. That's the Yukon. That's the Yukon Gold. And those are certified seed potatoes. Over here, grocery store potatoes that I put in the soil. Okay. Nothing yet, which leads me to believe that they've turned to mush underneath there. Okay, now over here, these are Kennebec certified seed potatoes. I did these just the other day. I'm using 15-gallon grow bags, and made sure I did my research, made sure I had the right type of soil and the right conditions. I checked the pH level. I think, I'm trying to remember, I think it had to be around 5.5 or something like that. Okay. But I did check, I have this little meter, and I checked the pH level. And so the Kennebec certified seed potatoes are in here. Then I have my blueberries. This is pink lemonade. I check the pH level of the soil on this too. Haven't mulched them in yet, and when I mulch them in, I'm going to use pine needles because blueberries love highly acidic soil. And I used a heck of a lot of peat moss in there to lower the pH level. Not only that, I also used a soil acidifier, even though with the soil acidifier, you're supposed to start on that about 6 months in advance. So I threw a little of that in there anyway, just, you know, just for good measure. So that, and then I'm going to mulch. Instead of the wood chips, I'm going to use pine needles. I have a bag of pine needles over there, and I'm going to just cut them up to a smaller size and just layer it on the soil, you know, as the mulch. And hopefully that'll help with the pH of keep it lowered. Over here I have my tomatoes, yes. This is a Cherokee Purple, an indeterminate. Over here is a Celebrity. This is a determinate. I'm using these little bulbs to water them, and they've been working great. As you can see, they've been here for a while, and they're still nice and green. So I made sure that soil was good and rich. So let's, fingers crossed, they will survive, and we won't have any more cold weather coming in. Well, they will survive. But like I said, I've already made a promise. If it gets cold, they're going inside the house. So my family should be ready to see these tomato plants sitting in the kitchen. Okay. Over here I have more potatoes. That's red Norland. These are certified seed potatoes. Red Norland right here. Another 15-gallon grow bag. And over there it's a variety called Silverton Russet. Let's see what happens, huh? We will see what happens. All right, guys. Look, I had to open up the greenhouse, you guys. Look. Down there I have my seedlings. Now those are my cucumber seedlings, the ones that survived. And I have also watermelon seedlings. I have honeydew, and I also have peppers in there. These are seedlings that I grew, that I created. And then there are some store-boughts. Now this is store-bought. That is actually zucchini. That's store-bought. But what's next to it, those are seedlings that I created. Let me go in. Now up here, yeah, this is, I was having trouble getting my okra seedlings going. So I got some Clemson Spineless from the nursery and jambalaya. So that's the variety I'll be growing this year. And it looks like I have another cucumber back there also. Looks like a straight 8. I got straight 8 and I got Dasher 2. These are my watermelon seedlings. This is a pepper. It's called a Golden California. These are seedlings that I created. This one is a large cherry tomato. Okay. I got the marigolds because I'm going to plant those marigolds near the tomato plants. These must be the Dashers. Yeah, this is the Dasher 2. And straight 8 and Dasher 2. I bought those because when you're having trouble with seedlings, or when I have trouble with seedlings, and I still want to be on time. What we got back here that's having a little trouble? That's my national pickling, but it looks like it may be okay. Just this one little bad leaf. And this is a seedling that I started. I want the national pickling to succeed because I really want to do my own like pickle relish and things like that. So let's see here. Oh, I got some more determinate. I wanted to make sure I had determinate tomato plants ready. I still have my corn down there, and as soon as the weather permits, I will definitely go ahead and put those in the soil. I have some containers ready for them. Now they need to be planted pretty close together. So you want them kind of close together because you want them to kind of knock against one another, because that's how they pollinate, through gravity and wind. The tassels release pollen when the wind blows, and when the plants will actually knock against one another, and the pollen comes and it will sprinkle down onto the tassels. I'm sorry, the silks on the ears of corn, and that's how they're pollinated. So they need to be pretty close together. I had several of these little corn seedlings created, but they died. So I have to start over, and I have some seeds in there that I'm germinating right now. And probably today I will sit inside because there's nothing much to do. It's so gloomy out here today. I will sit inside and go ahead and start making those corn seedlings. The corn seeds have sprouted. I'll let you see those. They turned out great. And I'll let you see it. I've always told you that I use the napkin, the damp paper towel method in a Ziploc bag. And I also up my chances of them germinating by using a hydrogen peroxide and water solution. Not just plain water, but I kind of dampen the napkin with that hydrogen peroxide and water. It works every time. Okay, so I just want you to see like I said, some of these are store-bought transplants and some are my actual seedlings. Okay, but looking pretty good. Let me see if this is one of mine. Yep. Nope, no, that's not mine. that's a transplant from the store, but I had to repot it. Okay, but the honeydews, those are mine. I'm getting pretty good at making seedlings, and I've always did well at making the watermelon seedlings and tomato. But you know what? With this weather, how sporadic it is. I mean, hey, it was a struggle, but okay. I'm gonna leave it open a little bit, let it catch some wind. We'll go over here to the other smaller greenhouse. All right. So this little baby here, ain't nothing gonna become of this. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I'm gonna take that out. But I do have more of the cantaloupe, more honeydew. They look like they're going to do okay. And let's see what else. California, these are seedlings that I created. The ones that does not have the little tag in there. If it has a tag, then of course it came from the nursery. But other than that, those are my seedlings that I created. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now that purple beauty, those purple beauties there, that came from the nursery, and I just up-potted, and because I wanted them to get some nutrients. I wanted them out of that little seed starting mix and into a soil that had more nutrients. Give them a bit of a boost. And these are chocolate sprinkled tomatoes. That came from the nursery also. And like I said, I took them out of the little nursery pots and put them in these little pots here so they can get some nutrients. I actually put fertilizer in the soil. They were, so they can, get going. Okay, so that's what's over here in this little this little area. They probably could be in one greenhouse, but I'm just gonna leave it as is. I don't feel like moving them. Okay. But yeah, that's my inspection, and I'm very pleased. Everything looks really good and healthy. So I'm doing something right, you guys. But very quickly, let me show you something before I sign off. Not only I'm going to show you, my lemon trees. These are little lemon trees, and I discovered that these are actually cutoffs. Okay? So I was wondering why they were so small. But these are basically just cutoffs of a larger tree. Okay? But they'll produce lemons. They're like little dwarf trees. As you can see, they are producing lemons. I did my research on the leaf curl situation. Now, once the leaves curl, there's no turning back. They're going to stay curled. But these plants are actually producing new leaves. You see the new leaves? Because some of the leaves fell off. But they're producing new leaves. And I actually checked the back of the leaves. There are no bugs, no insects. Okay? There are no insects on there. I did notice in the beginning there were insects crawling on the mulch. And I'm like, okay. So I started treating it with the Neem Max immediately. And I did that a couple of times. and until I didn't see any more bugs crawling around. Kind of saturated that soil a little bit so it could kill off any eggs, any larvae. I don't see any little spots on the back of the leaves. They're still nice and green. They haven't turned yellow. And like I said, that one is actually producing lemons. Okay, so we're gonna just let nature take its course and just keep fertilizing it, feeding it, keep it watered, not overwatered. Just do all the right things, right? Okay, I'm looking at this Swiss chard. Look at that. Look at the stalks down there. Isn't that pretty? This one's called Bright Lights. I gotta get out here and harvest. And this kale is just humongous. I'm used to like a curly kale, so this type of kale, I've never grew before. Okay, and the kale that I grew last time, I didn't have a success with the kale, but it was a dwarf kale. It was like blue dwarf kale. But I'm used to the leaf being different. So this is it almost looks like dinosaur kale. And you basically saute it. That's how you cook it. Or you can make kale chips, if you know how to do that. But you just saute it and cook it just like you do a collard green or anything else. Okay? But look, check out my flag. Isn't that cute? Look how beautiful. I love my butterflies, you know that. Bless this home. Bless this home. Okay, so it's my flag. The other welcome flag over there with the hummingbird, it's over there near the blueberries, if you can see it. You see over there? So I'm going to have plenty of flags. I don't really worry about decorations because my main focus is on the vegetables. I promised I wasn't going to make a long video, but I think it's too late. Okay. Now, do you remember this area over here, you guys, the pepper patch? The pepper patch is going to take on a new look. One of those raised beds, it's a 6.5 by 2. This is where it's going. I'm going to put it closer to the middle right here. Okay? Because if you look up, there's the roof. And when it rains, and you know how water falls down off the roof, I noticed when I was growing my peppers that the water would fall on the pepper plants, just drown them. Okay? So, it didn't kill them off or anything, but I don't want that because I'm going to grow melons, watermelons, maybe the honeydews, the sugar babies for sure, because I will be attaching a trellis. So this area has to be cleaned out. I got to get all those little weeds from around there, some fresh mulch, more bricks. I like to use bricks to kind of decorate and just kind of divide. I want me to come out here, or my son to be able to use the weed eater around the edges, and the bricks kind of protects, well, if it's going to be in a raised bed, we're not going to have a problem. But I used to hate when the weed eater would hit like one of my pots. I've seen damage to the pots when the little weed eater would hit the pot or whatever, or the container. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that because it's going to be in a raised bed. But I'm going to place it in this area. So the pepper patch is no longer the pepper patch. The peppers will probably be elsewhere. But I'm going to place the melons over here. The melons, let's see. I'm still figuring it out. And so when I do put the raised bed together, I'm going to place it over here and see what it looks like and make sure that's where I want it before I actually start to fill it. Because once you fill it, then it'll be a headache. I'm not saying that you can't move it. I'm sure you can, but it would probably be a headache to dig all of that soil out and move a raised bed. So once it's in place, that's where it's going to stay for a while. Okay? But that's going to be the new home of that raised bed. Guys, I'm going to sign off on this gloomy day. But the temperatures are pretty nice, so I'm happy about that because it's in the 60s. I want to say it's about 69. So the plants are going to be happy and they're safe. That's the main thing. Even though a lot of these things that are out here are actually cold hardy, I am concerned about my tomato plants that I put out here. Too soon, I know it, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. I even have 2 little pepper plants over here. These are green pepper plants. I bought them it was in 1 pack, but there was 2 plants in 1 pack. So I separated them and gave them each a little home to grow in that is temporary until it's moved to the grow bags. Okay? So that's it for today, you guys. That's my morning inspection, and I'm very happy with everything. It's just so gloomy today. And it's cool, it's not, and it's gonna rain, so everything's gonna be well watered. It will rain today, probably around noon. For those of you who do celebrate Mardi Gras, who's going to go out there and enjoy themselves, be careful and be safe, okay? And happy Mardi Gras. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off now, you guys. You have a blessed day, all right? Bye now.